Everybody. Welcome back to an episode of We Lift Big, the fitness, health, and entertainment podcast where listeners and viewers like you can be inspired to live a life of health and self-love. I am your host, Bria Gabor, and if you are watching the visual portion of this, you will see that I am in the working of a podcast space in the new house. I am so excited. This is incredible. Also, if you can notice, I have two mics going right now, just in case one sounds terrible, because I am recording in a space that has a lot of wood and walls, and so hopefully one of these is going to be good audio. However, that's not what we're here to talk about today. I hope you all are well, and I first just want to say I really appreciate everyone's patience in these podcasts coming out. In an ideal world, I would have an episode every week be coming out, and that was my goal for part of 2021, and it just hasn't happened. And to be honest and to take full accountability with the shows, so once again, if maybe this is your first time peeking into these episodes, welcome. I am 4 weeks out from my first bikini competition of the year. I'm competing in 4 bodybuilding shows this year. That is the plan. My first show is on May 15th. And tickets can be bought at Center Podium. Well, they will be able to be bought right now. They are coming soon. And so I pretty much check daily now to let my parents know, you guys can buy tickets now. However, sorry, we're getting off track. Anyways, I am competing, and that has been my number one priority. And I knew going into this year that doing these shows and competing in these shows and documenting my experience was going to be my number one priority. And as much as I love this podcast and it is my baby and I cherish it, I have not put it in front of my training. And because the training itself and the food prep and everything that just goes with competing in these shows is so time consuming and demanding, I just have not, I have chosen to not prioritize this podcast in a way that allows me to post weekly like I would like to. And it has taken a lot of grace to really allow myself to say, you know what, Bria, like, yes, this is still your baby, but it's okay if you just post when you can, when you really can. And so that's what I'm doing. And so I know it's been a little bit, but we are back. And I have a 2-parter for you. So for part 1, I'll call it, I wanted to take 3 things that I do in prepping for these competitions, the practices and the tools and the things that I use to get stage ready are also things that can be applied in a less extreme way in someone's life in order to meet any sort of goal that they have. So we're going to jump right in. The first rule that I want to share is having one meal that is exactly the same every day. And so before I started my prep, I would generally follow this rule for breakfast. I would eat the exact same breakfast every single day. And there's a couple good reasons for this. In every sort of self-help book practice I have dove into, one of the biggest things that they talk about is minimizing the amount of choices you have to make in a day. And that basically leaves brain space for other creative endeavors or other things that you have wanted to put time towards but just have not had the capacity to. And it's small things like not having to rummage around with, see, what do I want to wear today? What do I want to eat today? All of that requires brain power. And so having a meal, a set thing that you have every single day, is a great way to minimize the amount of choices you have to make in the morning and minimize the tendency to just kind of grab whatever's there, like making sure that you're prepared and you have this set meal. You have the comfort of knowing that at least one meal in your day is going to be the healthy choice, the thing that gets your day started or finishes up your evening. And even if the other meals for the day aren't planned, you have that one meal that is. And this is a great way to even just start eating healthier in general, is just take things one meal at a time. I'll do this with clients. And generally I like to start with breakfast just because it is the first meal of the day. And that's generally the meal that is going to set your digestive system, your cravings into gear, because you're literally breaking the fast. So whether you're eating at 5 or 6 in the morning like I am, or you practice some intermittent fasting and you tend to have your first meal later in the day, just having that set first meal that sets your system up for success is honestly one of the biggest game changers that I have had in my life, as well as many of my clients' lives. And so that's my first tip. My second tip, tool of the trade, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love fitness. I love training. That's why I'm a trainer and I've worked in the fitness industry as long as I have. But I got to be real with you. If someone was to come up to me and say, like, do you love working out all the time? Like, my answer is no. But I don't love every single workout. Like, there are many days in which I just go in and get the business done. I just do it. Like, even if I'm not really feeling it, or I don't feel strong, or I have a million other things that I need to do in the day. Granted, things are a little bit different for me right now because competing is my number one aside from my training. And so it is even more of a job right now, and my capacity of working out is more than it would normally be. And so especially now, like with all of the training that I have to do, there's no way I'm going to absolutely love and be thrilled by every single workout that I have to do, cardio and strength. Like, what I have done is I've made a commitment to exercising, and I've formed my life around that commitment. And I'm not saying that you have to make fitness your number one priority. It is something you just have to decide to do, and you're not going to love it all the time. That's why this stuff is so hard. And here's the thing: systems over willpower. The systems you put in place to create success in your life will always trump your willpower. I don't care how willing and motivated you are, systems will always trump willpower. Always. And so putting those systems in place, organizing your day in such a way in which, like, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have this time, and this time that I work out. And depending on the job, like, those times may change, but ultimately you know that you are going to set aside an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever kind of time you have on these certain days to exercise. And when you set that time aside, you also make a plan of, this is what I'm going to focus on today, because the more detailed you can be, again, this is about taking out guesswork. This is about taking out room for questions and just unnecessary thought process, like, oh, like, what do I feel like doing today? It's like, You can feel whatever way you want, but this is what you set out to do. Today, I'm going to squat, I'm going to do my push-ups, and I'm going to do my planks. And I know I have an hour at this time, and that's when I'm going to do it, whether I feel like it or not. Once those systems are in place, you will notice so much more success. So in addition to scheduling, the third thing that I wanted to talk about today was scheduling time for self-love and rejuvenation. One of the best things I have done for myself this time around. And so I first competed in 2019. And I am honestly shocked with how I got away with the lack of self-care that I did the first time. And so one of the things that I have done going into this prep is I have really prioritized taking care of my body, getting enough sleep, stretching, priming my body. I have a massage therapist that I go and see 2-3 times a month. And it has made such an incredible difference. Like, I am still sore, I'm still achy, I'm still tired, but my body is holding up so much better than it did the first time. With this in mind, I think that giving yourself time, and so in addition to scheduling your workouts and having some sort of game plan of what you'll be doing for those workouts, do something like this for yourself, like morning journaling, evening journaling, yoga, meditation, your favorite crime podcast. Like, even having as much as 15 minutes in your day to give yourself some love will go a long way, whether that's a mid-afternoon nap, again, whatever it is. And this is something that you can split up throughout your day. This is something that you can really have something set aside for, but don't you think you owe it to yourself? You work so hard. You, anyone, I don't know who you are, but I'm happy you're here. And you know how hard you work. You know the craziness and the beauty that is your life. You owe it to yourself to give yourself some love, whatever that is. And for me, that is journaling, hot baths, and massages a couple times a month. That is my self-love and care right now. And it is, again, it's made a huge difference in my training, and I know can make a huge difference in whoever chooses to adopt it. And so with that, these are, again, 3 things that I think can be applied from my training and everything that I have going on right now to any person's life. And if you choose to adopt these, let me know. I'd love to hear what kind of experiences you have with it and how it changes your life the way it's changed mine, whatever it may be. But anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week for part 2. Peace.